Trains, planes, and automobile. Okay, there was a lot of good stuff. Let's see if I can grab this from Pain, and then we can go through it. Points that like certain MMRs are having difficulty with, right? Like maybe I should insert a chart here. Let's insert a table. How many boxes do I need? One, two, three, four. So minus will be minus 1,000 MMR, and then or like grass, something like that. And then there we got like 1,000 to like 1,200, and then we got 1,200 to 1,300, 1,400, and then we got 1,400 to 1,500, and then I got 1,500 plus. Yeah, we've been there. You haven't, but oh, not talking to me, talking to Snack Hat. Oh, excuse me. Um, so I think for major issues for like issue one, like point one, like let's say key point one. Let's say key one. Let's say key. Let's just call it key one, and then key two, key three. I'll call them like something else. Key four, key five. Like if anybody pops in, like Payne and guys like that, Kurt Russell, Slade, if you want to add anything, like I'm trying to make a table of information that makes sense to me that I can break down. And be like, okay, we need a 2 minute video on this. We need a 2 minute video of this. And I was talking to some of the guys about it today, and I was like, okay, what about this? And like, no, that's a great idea. Yeah. Yo, Sunshine, how's it going, buddy? You're man, Sunny, man. If you're bored and you want to pop on with me and talk to me about this, I really want to break this down because I feel like we could out of this we can like make short videos for this. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just drop in my own voice here if anybody wants to come. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. We've been doing that on xylophones for a month. So Payne, I already had an idea, but he's talking about Night Elf specifically. Hey, here and here. I know like macro is a big issue. Macro, right? Expanding. I might just make this like much smaller in terms of font. You finally home? Nice. Those are they're Americans, Nadia. They are Americans from Cali and different places. So macro, delink, tech, production. Maybe I'll add some more points here. I'll like really simplify like this, and then we'll add stuff. And then we'll add stuff. I'll add some columns. We'll do this. And we'll make this 12 font. This is fine. 10. Thank you for the offer. I haven't gotten my games into this. Okay, go grind. I'm just, you know me. I play one game and I do a million other things. I did play 2 earlier as Night Elf and I won. And then I was like, let me go stream a bit. And then I'll play some games. Delayed tech. Delayed tech. Maybe I'll just make it 8. Maybe all this should just be 8 so it fits in properly. Hey, buddy. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, Mr. Ina. It was my birthday FFA indeed. And you played, and I appreciate that. So this I'll take out. I think level 3 hero is a big issue. Yeah, we had an FFA on my birthday last week. Snack Hazard. Everyone was pretentious. They didn't keep tabs on you, you know, and then they complained he's too strong, but keep tabs on him. But that's the beauty of those games, is because we have such a high diverse or such wide range of MMR playing. Thanks, buddy. And it's always funny. Like, I'm not the best, but like sometimes I can win games. I can keep up with you guys. You know. Let's see. So for 1,000 MMR, I think biggest problems are the macro things, expansion, delayed tech, level 3 hero, no scouts, no scouting, micro, right click, chase. That's a big issue. So like A attack, lacking A attack, because there's no games. Hey, Garrett. Yeah, we got the spicy mayo cup on tomorrow. Tomorrow. Spicy mayo cup number 5. It is tomorrow, and we got some signups. We'll probably get some more tomorrow. 1,800 and under, but with a little bit of flex. Nortricar is handling a lot of the MMR stuff. So it's going to be a good one. And then we got NA Cup coming up April 11th. Golden Mayo Cup's going to be postponed probably till May, till we finalize everything. That's going to be good. Multitask, creeping. Oh my god, there's so many more points. Do I have to like shrink this even smaller? Oh my god. I think I do. Macro expansion. Can I make this smaller? Sunshine's on a 3-stream streak, which should be like 27 stream streak or something, you know? You know? Let's go like this. And maybe I need to add a couple of columns. And then it goes completely off, right? Yeah, so I figured. Can I grab this off? Let's just not do that. Let's do this instead. Let's make this smaller. No, can't do that. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 10 points would be good. You just got home? Your mobile is jacked? Not sure why it's not popping up for me. Don't miss your streams. I don't know. I don't know, man. gonna have to do this all the time. Okay, let's do this. I want to add some spots at the end of it. Or at least one. All right, this is 10. All right, we'll go with 10 points. I think that's the best thing to do. So I'm trying to like break down what are like the key issues, like let's say 10 key issues that MMR, like people at certain MMRs are having, that are like what they should work on first, right? Um, I think maybe we do this differently, and maybe we put all the points down on the left side, and then we put the MMRs on the top. Oh, I think that's a better idea. Let's do that. And then we can make a colored graph about it. I think that's even better. So we would go like 500 to 1000 mmr, and this has to be a lot smaller. Let's go like 8. My sister, my wife's laughing at you. 1000 mmr to like 1200. Yeah, 1200 to 1400. And the reason why I do this is because it makes sense to me. And then let's say the rest. I'm not worried too much about this, because I think maybe the pro guys will fill that in. Maybe. And then I think 1800 to like 2K. And then like we're not even gonna go there. So let's. Are you being silly? What the hell? Right click without the K? Creeping. Okay. So to me that makes sense. And I can AB all borders. Inside borders. Oh, diagonal borders. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. Borders and shading. Let's make it let's make it thicker. Do the same thing. Whoop. I want it all though. And I want it all. All right, that's good. Something we could do is get a pro replays and keep track of peon count tech creeping. Yeah. Yeah, no, seriously. But like for me, I think we leave this till later, and then we get guys like you in December more and other guys get sunshine. We get some of the guys to like talk about that stuff later so we can figure it out. But for me, what I want to do is I want to go through like each MMR. What's like what are the key things here that people need to know? Macro and slash expansion. Tech tier like tier one. Uh, Tech tier, like when to get off, right? Tech tier. What do you mean it's small enough? Well, it's because you're on your phone. When to get level 3 hero. Scouting. Let's put out no scouting. We'll put scouting. Micro rate chick place. Chasing, attacking, creeping, buying items. Buying items. Having a TP, but I think that's into buying items. What else do we? Oh, like basic creep route. Why is this a different? Why is it so big? It's so strange. And this too, it's like basic creep routes. Anything you got, Logic. Yo, Mr. Epic Gamer. Would not knowing how to deal with opponent expansion fall under macro expansion? Yeah, that would like we can later like add those points to that and then build on it, right? You're about to eat some fish and onion rings. Oh, that's good. You can type and eat at the same time. Wife, can I tea? Yeah. I'm just like really. The reason why I'm doing this is because like all MMRs are starting to have issues, right? So like 2200 does not have problems with this stuff, right? But what is the most important thing for 500 to 1000 MMR player, right? Well, I would say that this is really important. What time is it? Production uptime. Yeah, I put the egg attack. Everything. But the reason why we're doing this, all of it, like, and we're gonna put XXXX, like all the big issues, but we're gonna highlight the ones that are the most important at those MMRs so they can get to the next MMR. Do you understand? So like this is, let's go. This is all like, right? Let's say this is all an issue, right? And then we're gonna say, all right, in there, what's the most important thing they need to do? Well, I'd say that they need to know how to do this first, right? They need to know how to A attack, right? Oops. I have huge problems with expo timings and some strategical issues, but also I'm often scared to make a move. I often end up camping on my side. Okay, so that's part of creeping near my base, and I don't like. So aggressiveness, decision making, right? Yeah, 100%, right? So there's that.
What time is it?
Just have to believe that if you go straight to 50 supply and your opponent is 30 and you A click around, you won't. But that's my point. You overcame it's 1020. I overcame learning creep routes by playing orc and only having to care about harass. That's why you bounce between races to see where you're comfortable. This is what I was talking to you about last night, Hyperreal. I was talking about making certain videos for certain MMR, especially grassroots, for specific things at their MMR that will make them get to the next MMR. And like I know this, right? And then I want people to help me figure out this because this is completely different than what's here. Yeah, your A clicking has gotten better. You barely do any scouting most of the time. I know what the opponent's doing. Nah, but you need to scout a lot. Turd Ferguson. It's 10:21. I said.
I didn't hear.
Yeah. So there's a lot, right? And if you guys have more ideas and stuff, by all means, Ina, if you want to share some stuff, that's, by all means. I really, I'm doing this for the grassroots guys that are coming in because I want to, like with Hyperwhale, I want to make a couple like short videos and with other people to just be like, do this, do this, do this. This is what you should focus on, right? Mid game scouting is where I struggle mid because I lose sight. Oh, that's a good point. Mid game scouting. Which is we'll leave it at scouting in general, or we'll say mid game scouting. Let's say mid game scouting, and we'll say micro here, and then we'll add. I'll add this. I'll clone this. I'll copy it. I'll paste it, and then we'll just delete this. And now we can come in here nice. Nice. Wisp everywhere. Yeah, it's hard. But if I play alpha, I have to learn how to creep instead of harass, unless I do grubby's keeper the grow build and just harass workers. No, you can't. Most of the people don't go keeper in it first anymore. Keeper's not strong enough late game. You're going demon hunter like 90% of the time. But like night elf specific creeping, that's a different, right? Like we're gonna try to get into that, but right now we're doing a general outline, so then we can break it down on what we need to do. Is the idea of this like micro 500 mmr? Remember to use your TP 1000 mmr. Use your hero abilities on cooldown fights. Yeah, that's the idea. Like here's the three things you should keep out your mind of at 500, and then if you do these, you should jump from 500 to 700 or something like that. Honestly, I'm gonna say this is watching replays. I know it sounds like it's not a skill in game, but it's a skill. Watching replays. And I don't think a lot of people at their lower MMRs watch their games, watch their own losses, right? But that's something they should do. But in game, I think creeping and not losing units. So I think this is important. And if I had to pick, I would say like these are like fundamental at the beginning, like absolutely fundamental. I focus on checking expos and sometimes checking base for tech. I'm also learning that 900 MMR, if you attack base, you don't need to know where they are. They will come home. Yeah, that's true. Understanding your mistakes and why you lost. Yeah, well, that's what we're trying to do here, right? And I think the specifics are in the general points, and then we can add those later. 1500 BattleNet equivalent or so. People still lose games to me because their hero control shit. Sometimes even when I had no business winning. General micro, yeah, I just put micro hero. Like, it's there, right? That's the general category of it. I'm trying to think. Like, I think macro is still a problem here. I think tech timing for some. I think this is still the timing. Scouting. This is a bit better. When you stop clicking and chasing, it's a bit better. Yeah, improvise, right? A attack is a bit better. Creeping can be better. Spend your money. This, right? And this. So already looking at this, I would say 1000 to 1200 MMR are getting better at not right clicking. Oh, surrounding. Well, surrounding is like micro too, right? So we'll leave that in the specifics of things. Okay, we'll say that. We'll say hero control. I'll give you that one. That's right. Hero control. So we said basic creep routes, army composition, win conditions, because they don't know what to do necessarily. Timings. Yeah, but I think that goes with like more specifically, like we have tech tier timing, when to engage the decision making. That's in decision making. At a previous job, they had a chart like this. Each box had a description of what the category at each level. Yeah. But I'm trying to do this general enough for each that we can break it down and then go into specifics in the said content. You know what I mean? To me, like this is how I see things. Like we're talking about mmrs and how people improve, but nobody's telling people how to go from here to here and here to here and here to here to here to here. They're just saying you're 500 mmr, we want to get you here. That's not how people develop generally. And then based on this, we can do some like quick like uh pointers or strategy guides or videos, YouTube videos, short, just for those things that we're pointing out at each mmr. Yeah, like a self-coaching blueprint. And then it's like, because people are coming in and they're like, hey, I'm new, I don't know what to do, but I played around with the game. Like, should I play AI? Should I do this? What should I keep in? What should I do? And everybody's saying 20 different things to them. So far, you get 2 archers and a DH and a camp. Yeah, that's in creeping though. That's like, so if anything you guys think of that are more general that we can add. So we got macro expansion, macro/expansion, tech tier timings, level 3 hero, scouting, mid-game scouting, maybe hero skill levels, like what skills to take, right? But that's more specific. Scouting, mid-game scouting, right click and chasing, A attacking, creeping, buying items, basic creep routes, aggressiveness, decision making, micro, watching replays, hero control, army composition, win conditions, because they don't necessarily know. Like to me, the spending the gold thing is your macro. Like spend your gold. Maybe this should be spend gold. Maybe this should be expanding. There is a bit of a difference here. I would say 1300s. No, the MMR's changed. Aggressiveness, yeah. Base layout. Oh, that's one I practice with hyperreal. That's super important. And I think that's very important too. That's a good point. We'll put that red because I think that's really important. Basic creep routes should be done by now. Creeping, what to creep, right clicking. Oh, idle time. Yeah, but if you're aggressive and you go and you steal creeps from them while they're creeping, and then creep their side of the map, that's the same as creeping. It's just you're doing it differently. The point I'm trying to do, God Quail, is I'm trying to come up with generic stuff, not for here, right? Not for this stuff right here. Now, when you're coaching somebody that's coming in that's 500, 600, 700 MMR, and they want to know how to get from here to here, you're going to tell them, get a level 3 hero, a click attack on the ground, creep, and then you can maybe work on base layout, or you can work on base layout. You know what? Come to think about it, this is not important here. Not yet. It's super important in here because they're just learning the game. This is MMR range, and this is stuff that people need to learn how to do at different times at MMRs. They're not in any particular order. I'm just coming up with them on everybody on the fly. And then from there, identify some of the generic major things that people need to learn at the lower MMRs. And then from thereafter, then you do a whole other thing, another chart, and you break it down and then you make a video for it. Yeah, base layout was really like base layout. I only really learned good base layout. Like I learned it here, and that's what got me like 1400 to 1550-ish. Ooh, is map knowledge its own category? Info described by creeping. Oh man, because they won't know. They only know maps from practice and like getting used to them. And I don't think map knowledge is very important here, but I think it starts becoming important when you get here. Generally, everybody has to work on these things at all times, except when you get to a certain point, you're like, you've mastered X and A and B and C, right? But based on the guys I'm seeing that are under me, a lot of this stuff is an issue. For me, a big issue, and Penguin alluded to me, is my decision making. This is Cough Creeps. It's a web app, and basically you could pick all the maps. Let's say you could pick BattleNet maps, you can pick W3C, pick 1v1 maps. We'll go W3C and we'll pick, let's pick a map we don't know. Let's pick, for example, let's say Boulder Vale, because we don't really know it. And they list the creep camps. So here, where's your starting base? Starting base is here. Your starting base is here. So let's say you're orc and you're going farseer and you're playing a human. Maybe you want to prioritize your level 3 before that, or maybe you don't. But let's say you do. Let's say you just want. We're telling everybody go get level 3. Well, how do you go get level 3? Well, you have options. You can do your green. These also tell you what creeps are there. You could do the oranges. You can go attack the red camp, but you'll probably lose everything if you do that. So if we click on it, it's going to give us the experience value. So I click on this. It's going to give me one of these, a Tomb of Agility, a Tomb of Intelligence, a Tomb of Knowledge, Tomb of Strength. It's going to give me something like this. I'm going to get 1.5 experience from here. So it's a half a level pretty much, right? And then I'm like, okay, where do I go? Do I go to my green? Do I run all the way here? You're going to waste time doing that. This is so visual, right? So let's say I'm going to go green. I'm going to look at this and be like, oh, it's a level 5 Sasquatch. It's a High Troll Priest. I mean, you also won't understand this until you do them. But this will help you understand, like, it's a level 2, level 2, level 4, and level 5. It's a bit strong. Here's a level 5, level 3, level 2. So instead of going green, green, we'll go green to orange. And we click on it, and now we got level 2.2 and possibly some of these items. And we might have got claws and a ring and stuff like that. And you can click on the thing, and it'll bring you to the claws if you want to see it. I didn't design this, but it's a fantastic tool. Yeah, you can click on it. So if you click on it's not letting me click on the creep, but it's letting me click on the item. Yeah, exactly. You can say I only want to kill this one. What's it going to give me? If I'm going to go with this one, what's it going to give me? If I do this, if it's giving me, right? Because sometimes as orc, you just want to go kill the unit, one of the ogres, and get the item. So that's really Blade Master sniping. Exactly. Super important. But let's say we're going to do green, orange, green. If you do green, orange, green here, this is not really an efficient creep route because you're going to get level 2.4 off of 3 camps basically, right? So is this the most efficient thing to do? No. If you look over here, you might want to do 1, 2, and then this one. You're still not going to get level 3. You're going to get level 2.9 off of this. Is this the best way to go about it? Maybe not. Maybe you want to go do orange first, depending on what units you get out. And out of this, you're going to get an immediate level 2. And you're going to get, maybe a Wand of Illusion, maybe a replenishment potion, which personally I would want the replenishment potion. And then you're going to get one of these. But I would want the replenishment potion or the Wand of Illusion. So you're going to get level 2. That's a good start, right? Level 2. And then from here, depending on how many units you have in the creeps, if you want to get more experience, you can go do small camp. You could skip it. This is a really hard camp. It would give you a lot of experience, so it's really hard. Maybe you would go right to the orange, right? Or maybe you would go green, orange, orange. Boom, 2.9. If you're human or night elf, you can actually multi-be creep. Like, if you're militia, if you're doing this with humans, with footies and your hero, you can send your militia here at the same time. So this is super effective in trying to figure out how to creep. Like, let's say, like, hey, I'm 500 MMR. I know nothing about the creep camps. I'm gonna go creep the red camp. Yeah, I'm gonna get level 2.6 off the bat. But you know how hard these is? This is level 7, level 6, level 4, level 4. You're gonna lose everything. Yeah, you're totally gonna get owned. Right? Let's go look at Hammerfall. Hammerfall is pretty familiar. It's pretty straightforward. So you got your Expo. A lot of humans on this map like doing the golem first. Orc, if it's early in the game, they would do this one first, right? So, but from here, and Grubby actually showed us that you can creep the green here with a Farseer and Wolves, and with a Peon, and the Peon can take the Purge twice, which saves your Wolves. It's kind of funny. Might cost you a little bit of lumber, but then if you skip a Grunt and do it, and then build an extra Peon, it might actually be worth it. Usually from here, I think Night Elves tend to put their AOW here, and they do this right away. So if you're Night Elf, you're doing this and this immediately, 2.3. If I'm Farseer or Blade, I'm running out here and I'm doing this camp first, and this camp. I get level 2 here. This is level 2. Also, in terms of knowing maps, knowing how long it takes to get the hero from altar to the other side. Well, that's another thing is, are you creeping here? And so, if so, you're putting your altar here. And if not, well, if you're going to put your altar here, that makes a big difference. You don't think so, but it makes a big difference. You put your altar around there. So I'm orc. I'm doing farseer. I'm getting headhunters. I might not even creep. I might go harass. But let's say I'm creeping. I'm gonna take this. But or if I'm blade with headhunters, I'm taking this. And I want to try to get level 3. But if I can deny the neutral ones or take one of theirs on their side, or even just take an item from one of the creeps. I mean, it's nice to steal their shop. This is a little bit hard. And it's super important. Maybe you want to do this and this into Expo, or this and this into this into this. But if you do level 1, 2 here, and you leave another green at home for yourself, so in the event that you do this and come back home to do your Expo, you can run back home, salve, clean up, heal, and then do the green at the same time. Boom, you got level 3 from 1, 2, 3, or let's go 3, 4. And you got any of these items. It's worthwhile. Actually, I think items. Thinking about this, I think buying items and keeping items. Like which ones are you supposed to keep? Which ones you're supposed to sell? Right click and chase. Yeah, some guys do this, but it's not as bad here. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm saying I want to have answers for people here. That's what I'm saying. And I want to supplement this with people who are better than me and good coaching to add to this and make it better. Because if I sit in voice with, like, let's say Hyperreal and a couple of the guys, and they ask me, and then you say and then you have somebody better come in, and it's like, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. But like it's too much to handle, and they can't extrapolate all that and do it. So what are your key points? Well, from the lower guys I see is that they always have an under level hero, and level 3 is a huge power spike, so you need that. They need to know how to click into the open, and I'm presuming they have a general idea of like how to click units. Like, not like, we're not talking about like somebody who never like played a video game, right? Like, get a level 3 hero, attack, creep, no expanding at this level. Like, don't expand because they don't spend their gold, and they have macro issues, so shouldn't be worrying about macro. Should be worrying about creeping, getting your hero levels, attacking, and learning how to kill your opponent, and you'll win the game. Like, screw the base layout. They have no idea what base layout is. That will come later. That will help you later when you're getting better at those things, right? Even though everybody has different ranges of what they do well at certain MMRs. After this is all general, then we'll go back and I look at it and say where we can put notes and show this to somebody. It's like, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to break this down now. There's sometimes where, like, I'll go into a classroom and they're teaching kids some things, and if I can't sit there and learn it, I don't think the kids are going to be able to. So that's what I think about. Is there a part of the conversation that is finding what you excel and leaning into that, and then working on your weak spots? I think that's a case by case thing, right? If I go back to when I was like 1100, 1200, what did I not do well? Everything. But what I particularly not do well was I was just creeping and not being aggressive. Like, being aggressive got me to 1300. And then I needed to know better base layouts, and then I needed to be a little bit faster. Then I needed to know better creep routes, their creeps or timings or items. Like, then you start putting all those things together slowly, right? And then I think here, like 1400, 1600 is when people start developing like a style of play and trying different things. Like, okay, you went MK first and 600 MMR, but like a style of play, like let's say Criplord Firelord. I started doing that a season and a half ago, 2 seasons ago, like just by playing random, because a Slate used to do it, and then I did it with ghouls. And I was like thinking about what Nurture Car was doing. So I'm like, let me do this. And it got me to like 1550 undead. And I'm like, wow. And how do I do that better? And I got a little bit better at it. And then, then I wasn't doing well with it, and then I was. But it's something I was able to do better than other things. And then I was not doing the headhunter thing properly. And then I switched to mirror image blade. And I start creeping better, and I was getting headhunters, and I was like, that really helped me do better recently. Like, this season's my best start to all my seasons, and I'm generally 1500 orc, 1500 undead, 1500 random, like plus whatever it is. So maybe oh, maybe that's a good like how much MMR can you climb just knowing I harass well, so will get comfortable with that while get games to collect data and learn my mistakes. I think honestly there's some players, forget the MMR, but there's some players have a really good first 5 minutes. Some players who play better in the mid game, and some players who play better in the late game. I bring up people because I know certain people play really well when, like Norchakar, Criplord Undead, like he's a good mid game guy because his whole thing is about that spike in tier 2. Tyler won his first 5 minutes, and then it's all downhill from there. But if I play human, usually I'm getting better at it because I'm practicing. It's my first 5 minutes are horrible. And then when I was playing Urk, my first 5 minutes were horrible, and that's gotten better. Right? What I think what's the best about me is my late game is probably my best because I have access to everything. If a game is going along enough and nobody's put me away, my late game is probably better than my mid and my early game. So I'm gonna work on those things. But everybody's different. But then that's where you get coaching or you get people to look at your replays. And the other issue is like you give a replay to somebody and they just tell you how shit you are. It's like you didn't do this right, didn't do this right, didn't do this right, didn't do this right. It's like, okay, what did I do right? Nothing. But that's not coaching, right? That's one thing I thought of that I haven't been able to put into a more coherent form is decision making. What do I expand? Do I expand at all? Where's my opponent's build going? How do I counter it? Yeah, that's a harder question. One, it depends on their matchup. I think two, it depends on the map. Okay, that's your okay. You're 11 to 1300, right? The nosediving happens. Trust me, man. Like when I was doing well, I was doing well. And when I was nosediving, I lose like 20 games in a row, and I was so discouraged, so discouraged. I stopped playing for days. Then I went to Stormgate, and then came back and started playing Undead, and I started playing better. And then I realized like you got to ask more questions. You got to watch more people. You got to watch a lot of replays. Like I'll do that more than I play. I don't play a lot, and things change in the game, so maybe you expand. But generally, let's say you play one base, and then when you start learning how to two base it, and your macro, you're working on your macro, and then you move up, and you're like, hey, I'm 1,000 to 1,200 MMR ish. All right, so your human probably should be practicing how to expand every game, fast expand every game, win or lose against every race, just fast expand. And if you could do that 1,000 times and do really well with it, it might just get you to 1,400, right? And I think generally humans usually need expansion, except in some matchups and maps. So I wonder what Sunshine would say about that. I feel like he might agree with me on some of it. And then if you're playing Undead and they're going Criplord and you've scouted, right? There's a lot of things there. If you didn't scout, you don't know what they're getting. So you're playing blind. So you're just going to practice your fast expansion. You're gonna presume, or you've scouted, or you're gonna presume that they're expanding too. So after you get your expansion up, you get your tower up, you run over and you go see what they're expanding and harass them. You know, it's not, and they know if at those levels they're not getting a secret expansion while early on. Other MMRs like Grinchy and up, they're doing that kind of stuff. But if you're Undead and you're playing Criplord, you're expanding. You're trying to expand all the time, first right out of the gate. And then you're playing a human, especially. You know, Orc's not expanding on tier 1, but a human is. You're going to go over and try to stop their expo. So those are things you just have to know. It's game knowledge, right? Map knowledge, like game knowledge or sense. I think that's also comes with experience. It's like some races have tendencies, some players have tendencies, some heroes have tendencies. Is a Farseer Headhunter player going to off the bat get an expansion tier 1? No, that won't happen. Really, it won't happen. Is Archmage human gonna fast expand? Probably. You know, is a Death Knight gonna fast expand with ghouls? Probably. No, I wouldn't say probably, but sometimes. Lich sometimes. So that's a good question. That's just, I think it depends on a lot of things. It's just stuff I've been thinking about, talking to people about them, we're trying to like put together to make it make sense, and then then show it visually. Like if Hyperroll is here and he wants to do it, we'll just get into the game, let him play, and like say, okay, do this, do this, do this, and go creep and get your level 3, and boom, done. And that's your first couple of minutes. Like the most important thing, right, is your first couple 4 or 5 minutes of the game. Get that down. That's really important. Then worry about your other stuff. Then worry about the next 5 minutes. And that over the shoulder coaching makes so much click. I think what's good is that like we do it sometimes in voice chat with the guys, and we watch them play, and we won't say anything, and then we'll watch, and like they're doing certain things well, but they're missing like water elemental. We're like, water elemental, press it. They press it, and it just adds to them playing better, right? Maybe like sometimes guys want backseat gaming. They're like, just shout out some stuff when I'm playing. I'm like, all right, build a blacksmith, go get a farm, go buy a heal scroll. But don't like some people do too much. Like, hey, go here, do this, left click, go green camp, blah, 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 blah. That's too much, right? But sometimes they'll ask for like, say this, say that, say this, say that, and then they're like, okay, that helped. I won the game. Thanks for the coaching. Appreciate it. You think Sol 8-man does that well? Yeah, Sol 8-man does a lot of things well. You can't overcoach somebody. Like, and a perfect example is Grubby and Tyler 1. You can't just breathe down their neck and yell at them, do this, do this, do this, do this. You have to understand. Tyler 1 said it the best. He said, bro, I need 1,000 games before I can understand what I'm doing. He's not wrong. 1,000 games in the race. I have 1,000 games. I don't have 1,000 games in one race. So that's important. And then also, like we saw with that situation, is having the right coach. You know, if you're an undead player and you want to go Crypt Lord all the time, maybe Baron's your guy, or Nurchakar. If you want good guard play, ask Baron. If you want good Night Elf, AOW creeping, maybe you're going to ask Glaive. You know, like, because other players at their other MMRs do things really well and don't do. So, I mean, that's what I've been thinking about a lot. Because we're getting all these new guys in, and like, there's a lot of coaches, but like, of the guys I've spent time with, like, it's like they're getting coached by guys, but they're not focusing. They're focusing on too much, right? Like, again, everybody wants to go for 500 MMR to 1,500. And 1,500 to 2K. It doesn't work like that. Not many people come in and do that. And if they come out of the gate, or they do like 1,500, 1,600, they're like, I have RTS experience. It's Warcraft. Did you come? Were you super pro in StarCraft too? Maybe. If you want to be good, you got to play 10 games a day. And if you want to have fun and enjoy it, you play when you can. But you could still improve. And if you want to be pro, you play 30 to 40 games a day. Or slash, if you have no life, you play 30 to 60 games a day. Because there's a lot of guys on there that do that and still... So if you guys have anything you want to add to this or ideas, write it in the Discord or just DM me or whatever. And anyways, we'll add to it as we get stuff, or people want to add stuff to it. I'm sure there's a whack load of things we're missing. I left it general on purpose because I want to go into it specifically and break it down. And ideas are welcome. If anybody wants to help with coming up with some stuff. Chaos, we find our light. Side by side, we'll forge our path.